TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations.
Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News, broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, Israel's Atomic Energy Commission Director General warns of Iran's nuclear aspirations. Iran denounces the IAEA for refusing to close its investigations into nuclear particles that were retrieved from undeclared sites in the Islamic Republic. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps launches a deadly strike against Iraq's Kurdish region. The ongoing unrest in the Middle East is a threat to peace and security worldwide. Speaking to the International Atomic Energy Agency's General Conference in Geneva, Israel's Atomic Energy Commission Director General Moshe Edrei stressed the requirement of special attention, including most notably vis-a-vis the Islamic Republic of Iran.
The ongoing unrest in the Middle East is a threat to peace and security worldwide and requires the attention of all member states. One country is the leading factor in the instability of the region. It is now clear that Iran conducts military and nuclear program, gaining technology and knowledge, and to produce elements for a nuclear weapons device. These activities took place in many undeclared sites using various nuclear materials. In this regard, the Iranian nuclear weapons program is under the investigation of the agency for many years.
Edrei, a retired Israel Air Force Brigadier General who formerly served at the Defense Ministry as Directors of Special Means and Civil Defense, continued by stressing that neither Israel in particular nor the international community at large can accept a nuclear-armed Iran.
Iran has continuously failed to provide credible explanations or clarifications regarding the nature of these past activities and continues to deceive the agency and the international community concerning its clandestine nuclear activities. The recent Board of Governors resolution condemning Iran's lack of cooperation with the agency and long overdue open questions reflects the growing international concerns regarding Iran's ill conduct. Moreover, Iran continues to develop, test and deploy long-range ballistic missiles in direct violation of United Nations Security Council resolutions and supports terrorist organizations throughout the Middle East. Iran obtaining nuclear weapons is not an option that Israel nor the world can tolerate.
General Edrei also took advantage of the opportunity to deplore Arab countries for politicizing the agency against the Jewish state.
Unfortunately, the Arab group continues with its endless efforts to abuse this professional forum for one reason only: to single out Israel. The agenda item, Israeli nuclear capabilities, placed on the agenda year after year, is politically driven and contradict the IAEA statute and mandate. Mr. President, we strongly object to its inclusion on the agenda. This agenda item draws attention from the important issues concerning the General Conference to yet another attempt to politicize this professional forum. Moreover, this useless political act is in a contradiction to the overall positive spirit in our region. These acts are bound to fail.
Also addressing the IAEA conference was head of Iran's Atomic Energy Organization, Mohammad Eslami, who rejected all allegations against his country, claiming that they are not only false, but also baseless.
I would like to clarify here, Mr. President, that there are no undeclared nuclear materials and activities in Iran. All allegations are merely based on false and fabricated information provided by the occupying Israeli regime. The Islamic Republic of Iran truly expects the agency to provide its reports on verification activities in a more professional, impartial, and independent manner.
Eslami, who also serves as Iran's vice president, continued by addressing the IAEA's open investigations into nuclear particles that were uncovered and retrieved by the agency's inspectors from undeclared installations. He moreover declared that Israel is responsible for those so-called false allegations and that a political decision to close prior probes into illicit nuclear activities serves as proof that the Islamic Republic is in fact a good actor.
It is highly expected that the agency preserves its integrity and credibility, not to allow certain elements to raise under different guises old allegations which were already closed in 2015. Once again, I would like to reiterate that these old delegations were closed in 2015. The case has been terminated, but they have been retrieved under various excuses. We believe that the agency must refrain from relying on baseless, false information taken from unreliable resources. In this way, the agency shall maintain its independence, impartiality, and professionalism, and play a constructive role.
It is important to highlight that Iran continues to refuse to revive the 2015 nuclear agreement so long as the IAEA probes into the nuclear materials are ongoing. Nevertheless, Director General of the United Nations watchdog organization, Rafael Mariano Grossi, repeatedly asserted that the path to ending the outstanding investigations includes Iran's provision of technically credible answers, which is a position supported by the United States and the E3 nations of France, Germany, and Britain. Turning to northern Iraq, Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps executed deadly strikes on the northern Kurdistan region in a seemingly deliberate attack aimed at deflecting some of the mounting tensions and growing public unrest throughout Iran. Here's Alice Rizzo of Reuters with more.
Iran's Revolutionary Guards fired missiles and drones at militant targets in the Kurdish region of neighboring northern Iraq on Wednesday. At least 9 people were killed and many more wounded in the attacks near Erbil and Suleimania in Iraqi Kurdistan, according to its health minister, Saman Barzanchi. He also said that some of the wounded were in critical condition and that the death toll could rise. The strikes were reported after Iranian authorities accused armed Iranian Kurdish dissidents of involvement in unrest now shaking Iran, especially in the northwest, where most of the country's population of over 10 million Kurds live. After the attack, the Revolutionary Guards, Iran's elite military and security force, said that they would continue targeting what it called terrorists in the region. Iraq's foreign ministry condemned the attacks and said it considers this action as a violation of sovereignty.
Responding to Tehran's blatant attack, U.S. State Department spokesman Ned Price asserted that Washington stands with Baghdad.
We've made the point that we stand with Iraq's leaders, its leaders in its Kurdistan region as well as in Baghdad, in condemning what was a brazen assault on Iraq's own sovereignty and Iraq's own territorial integrity. This is, unfortunately, just another instance of Iran's flagrant disregard for not only the lives of their own people, but also for their neighbors and for what are core principles at the crux of the UN Charter: sovereignty, territorial integrity.
It is important to note that the U.S. Military Central Command, CENTCOM, intercepted one of the Iranian drones, insisting that it had been on a trajectory which threatened American forces and civilian lives.
This is not the first time that we have seen Iran use these tactics, ballistic missiles and drones, but we are going to continue working with our partners in the region to help them defend against these types of threats.
It is also critical to underline that Mahsa Amini, the young woman whose murder by the Islamic Republic's so-called morality police sparked global protests against the tyrannical regime in Tehran, was a member of the Kurdish minority in the country. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. Please join us again tomorrow when TV7's Amir Oren will be here for our monthly Powers in Play panel. Separately, we would like you to know that TV7 is a donation-based ministry. Therefore, if you are blessed by our productions, please consider making a financial contribution that in turn will enable us to sustain our ongoing operations. Additionally, I would like to encourage you to pray for our persecuted brothers and sisters worldwide and for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Erin Viner, wishing you a Shabbat Shalom.